Hey, Fish Not Found here. Today we will quickly go over 10 tips that will be helpful for all beginners, starting with more basic tips and then moving on to more advanced tips. Let's get into it. Tip 1. Save silver when buying gear. Enchanted gear is cheaper than non-enchanted gear of the same tier. How enchanting works is each level of enchantment adds 100 item power to the item you are enchanting. Let me show you. For example, if I have tier 4 dual swords and I enchant them at the enchanting station with tier 4 runes, the dual swords would become a tier 4.1 or tier 4 enchanted 1. And now this has the same item power as a tier 5 dual sword, but is much cheaper. If I enchanted the dual sword again to tier 4.2, it would have the same item power as a tier 6 dual sword, but again much cheaper. The difference in item power for items tier 6 and above comes from mastery bonus. Tip 2. Repair your gear. Repair your gear before you lose item power. At 49% durability, you lose 100 item power, and at 29% durability, you lose 200 item power. What this means is if you're using a tier 6 bow and its durability is under 49% and above 29%, you might as well be using a tier 5 bow, and if the durability is under 29%, you might as well be using a tier 4 bow. Tip 3. Move from blue to yellow zones. Yellow zones are safer than you might think. You can be attacked by other players, but you cannot be killed, and you will not lose your items. Why you should move from blue zones to yellow zones as soon as you can is the bonus to fame and the drops will drastically speed up your account progress. The fame is increased by 25% and the loot is increased by 8% compared to blue zones. Tip 4. Survive more ganks. If you are in a dangerous zone or just trying to avoid being ganked, always stay next to your mount. If a ganker sees you without a mount, you become a very easy target. The closer you are to your mount, the greater your chances of escaping. Tip 5. Safely inspecting players. This is a 2-for-1 tip. You can inspect other players by clicking on them, then pressing the Y key. I personally have this as a mouse key binding. When you inspect players, you see their loader and the abilities they have selected. If you are in a dangerous zone, for instance a black or a red zone, and then click on a player to inspect them, and one of the following things are true, either you are flagged for PvP or they are flagged for PvP. You will attack them if you intend to or not. Now to avoid this, open your settings, go to controls, then select double press to attack. This means exactly what it says it does. To attack anything requires a double click or alternatively a single click and then an attack current target button, which is space. Now, when you click on someone in a dangerous zone, you can safely left click them without accidentally attacking them. Tip 6. It takes longer to flag up in the red zone than you might think. Right now I am not flagged for PvP. I cannot attack this player, though we are in a red zone. If I wanted to attack this player, I have to wait 15 seconds before I can attack them. This gives the other player plenty of time to get on their mount and run away, so you have plenty of time to react. Hopefully, this will give you more confidence to try out a red zone if you haven't already. Tip 7. Red zone flag players. The icon next to the minimap will keep track of how many dangerous players there are in the zone. Please note, this number does not update instantly when someone flags. There is a 10-second delay. Tip 8. Fight or flee from gankers. If a ganker is already flagged and dismounts right next to you, they cannot use their abilities or attack you for 5 seconds. Keep this in mind when deciding how you want to react. You have two options. Option 1 is you mount up and run away. This can sometimes be a bit tricky when you're already being attacked by mobs, but you can still do it if you time the mob's attacks. Option 2 is you can turn and fight gankers, which initially puts the ganker at a disadvantage by not being able to fight back until their dismount debuff has ended. Tip 9. What the exclamation? When you dismount and see the exclamation icon above your character, know that there is a flagged player close to you. If you cannot see the player on your screen, there is a chance that they are invisible, so be careful. A common ganking strategy gankers will use is they will watch people enter dungeons in the black zone while they are still invisible and enter behind you when you least expect it. If you dismount to enter a dungeon and see the exclamation icon, enter at your own risk because you don't know how many people might be watching you. Tip 10. Invisibility shrines. Always use the invisibility shrines when entering the black zones. These shrines grant you an invisibility buff for 2 minutes. This is enough time for you to travel out of the first zone and into the second zone. Note, gathering a resource while this buff is active will remove the invisibility effect. Bonus tip. Helpful resources for learning about Albion Online. Check out the Albion Wiki to read more about gameplay, economy, gear, items and much more. Or you can check out the Murder Ledger for build stats, weapon matrices and VODs. Both links will be in the description of the video for you. If you found this helpful, let me know your favorite tips in the comments below. Thanks for watching.